Hello there, everyone. My name is Crazy Caleb, and today we're going to be taking a look at 3N+1. So this is the way the module looks. It looks very similar to a module called Cosmic and NumberPad. They both have the exact same number pad here, but the catch with this is that it has a green background that sort of distinguishes it from one another. So what we have here on the display is a number that's going to be given to us. It will always be in the range between 1 to 100. And now what we're going to do is we're going to try and input the total amount of iterations it takes to get to 1. And the way that this works is it's going to be based off of the Collatz conjecture, and that's going to be using the following steps. If your current number is even, we're going to divide by 2, and if your current number is odd, we're going to multiply by 3 and add 1. And then we're going to repeat this until your number is 1. So that's going to be what we're going to do. Now, what we're going to be inputting into the module is we're going to be inputting the total number of iterations, and it's not going to be including the number on the screen. So in this case, if we happen to take a look at the 8 here, what we would do is we would do an 8. We would not count 8 though. We would go from 8, divide it by 2, then divide by 2, then divide by 2. And in this case, we would note down the iterations that we got here, which in this case would be 3 individual iterations, not including the display. So we'll input 3 into the module, and just like that is a solved module. And as you can tell, that is indeed a very, very, very loud Taco Bell sound. So now, how exactly did I just solve that? And why was that so easy? If your input was correct, it will become the new display. Now, that's normally with a much larger number. We happen to get a really easy case with this one, I will say. But in this case, we would normally repeat this process until you enter in the numbers either 0, 3, 5, 7, or any power of 2. Because at that point, if any power of 2, if you get any power of 2, at that point, you're pretty much going to be going down to 1 really, really fast. So that's going to be very important to note down. But in this case, I did input 3, which was one of the answers that it was asking for. So in this case, we were able to figure out really quickly that that was going to be my answer. So, perfect. And 8 actually happens to be a power of 2 as well, so it's 2 times 2 times 2. So that immediately was a big indication that the solve was going to be likely coming up soon. So let's take a look at this next example here, and this hopefully will be a bit of a longer one that I'll be able to demonstrate how tedious this module can be, because there can be some very nasty examples that you can run into. Trust me on that. So this is going to be 52. It is currently even. We're going to divide you by 2. So 52 divided by 2 is going to be a 26. We're going to note down this iteration. And then we're going to divide you by 2 because it's even, which is going to be 13. And then we're going to multiply you by 3, and then we're going to add 1 to this. Is going to give me 40. Divided by 2. Divide by 2. It's going to be 10. Then it's going to be 5. And then what we're going to have divide by 2. Then what we have is an odd number here. We're going to multiply by 3, adding 1. And now you're pretty much going to start to see the slippery slope at this point. It's going to be then 8, then 4, then 2, then 1. This is a very common pattern to come into, but once you reach 16, you know that the end is pretty much in sight. It's then 16, 8, 4, 2, 1 at that point. So now we have the amount of iterations, not including the display here, and we've gone through everything here. But now what we need to do is not submit the highest number that we had, for example, like you would do in what would be what am I thinking of? For example, integer numbers. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be essentially inputting the amount of iterations it went through. So in this case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So in this case, this is going to be an answer of 11. And you hear a little bit of a ding sound. That means that that answer is correct. That's perfect. So now this is an odd number, so it's going to be 11 times the 3 plus the 1 is going to be a 34. Okay. Then we're going to divide you by 2. It's going to be 17. Then we're going to multiply it by 3, adding 1 is going to be 52. We're going to divide you by 2 is going to be 26. Divide you by 2 is going to be 13. I believe we actually had this exact same case beforehand. Times you by 3, adding 1 is going to be then 40, then 20, then 10, then 5, then 16, then 8, then 4, then 2, then 1. We had this exact same case beforehand, and it definitely is a very common pattern that you'll run into where it happens to be similar numbers leading to similar results here. But as you can see, we have gone through all of our iterations. Now, let's see how many counts of iterations this actually is, making sure that we do not include the display itself. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is going to be 14. 14 iteration. Alright, starting off with an even number. That's promising, but of course anything can happen. So 14 divided by 2 is going to be a 7. Multiplying you by 3, and then adding 1 is going to be 22. Dividing you by 2 is going to be an 11. then we're going to get a 34. We've gone down this exact same path. Now, one of the things that I actually like to do is I actually like to use applied knowledge. I actually like to use this as a little bit of a nifty concept. So now we're going to add this to the beginning here, getting rid of the 34, getting rid of the duplicate case, and now we're pretty much going to go down the exact same path, but with just a couple more iterations attached to it. That's kind of the one of the nice things that you can do with this. If you happen to have a bit of a longer one, you can obviously keep some of the things that you copied to save you from doing work. That's one of the tips that I like to recommend. So now let's count the amount of iterations, because this is going to go down the exact same path that we've gone before, because if we do 11 times this by 3, it is going to give us 34. So now let's count the amount of iterations that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Now, with this in mind, 17 is what we just inputted here. Now, with this in mind, what we can essentially do is we know that we had 17 right here. We know exactly how this is going to go. We can use this knowledge to our advantage here, and essentially what we're going to do is not include 7 in our counting, and then we're going to count every single iteration afterwards. We're going to have, starting from the 52, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is going to give us 12 here. All right, good deal. Now 12 is going to be divided by 2, so that's going to give us a 6, then it's going to give us a 3, then it's going to give us a 10, then it's going to give us 5, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. Pretty straightforward. And then we're going to count the amount of iterations that we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Okay. 9. Okay. That's not what I meant to click. So now from 9, we haven't had this one beforehand, so let's follow along with this path. So let's mark a new iteration line here. 9 times 3 plus the 1 is going to be a 28. We're going to divide you by 2. It's going to be 14. Then it's going to be 7, and then we're going to follow this line because we're going to divide by 2 to give us 7. Now we're going to be following this line, which is a bit longer. So let's remove the 7, but let's add on 2 iterations to this top bar right here. So now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 is going to be our answer here. Okay. This module, as you can see, can go on for a while. It can be very lucky like my previous example, but obviously this module can take a little bit of time. So now 19 times this by 3, plus the 1 is going to give me 58. A bit of a different example this time around. Divide you by 2 is going to be 29. Bit unpleasant the way that this is going. Times you by 3, adding 1 is going to be an 88, then a 44, then a 22, then an 11. And as you can see, we're kind of following into that similar pattern here. So now we would pretty much be done with this at this point. So now we have 58, 29, 88, 44, 22, 11. It's going to be a 6 iterations right there. And then from the 11, we're going to go 34 and then on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20. That is promising. We like even numbers. That's what we like. So now, in this point, we actually have already done the work for 20, so we're going to be counting the iterations that occur after 20. So it's going to be a 10, 5, 6, 8, 4, 2, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we happen to submit the answer of 7, this is going to solve the module. And just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.